Good morning. I'm here today with Heather Earl from Visiting Angels. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here today. I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about Visiting Angels.
Sure. Visiting Angels is a non-medical home care agency. So we provide in-home care for primarily elderly, but our typical client is is different as every individual. So every family and every situation is a little different.
Okay. And what is your role at Visiting Angels, Heather?
My role is I'm the Employee Services Coordinator, so I do the hiring of the caregivers and all the background information. I do also have a role in meeting with clients, not primarily, but that is part of what I do as well, and in making those matches. And I have done scheduling as well. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, and let's talk about that because hiring those caregivers is so important.
Exactly.
That's really
Absolutely.
a very critical aspect. So tell us a little bit about Visiting Angels when they're looking at potential caregivers, what they do to ensure they're getting the best possible caregivers for their clients.
Absolutely. Well, as a base, every person that we hire must obtain, I guess, or they must display the 5 principles of excellence that we hold true to our company, and that is we're looking for excellence, not average. We're looking for dependability, compassion. We're looking for integrity, and so all of those things are part of what we find out by asking them a series of questions over 3 different interviews with them.
Okay.
We also do a 3-hour orientation. We are giving them the ins and the outs of lots of different situations and how we work, so they're very prepared before they would ever go into the home. We require an extensive criminal background check to be done on every person that we hire, of course, and driving records, so and references, of course, checking out to make sure that that everything is legit and we're hiring honest people. So, but I think the best thing about what we do in our hiring process is I spend time with them, and I get to know who they are, and I spend time on the phone with their references, and I ask a lot of questions.
Right. So, once you have these caregivers and they're going to go out and meet with the client and help serve these clients' needs, how do you make sure that you're getting a good fit between the clients and the caregivers?
Good question. We spend time in the home before we would ever send a caregiver out into their home. We're meeting with families to find out what their needs really are. When you're in the home with someone, you can tell a lot about them for how they keep their space and how they live, and so that's important to us to make sure that we're sending someone that fits well in that home and that fits the personality of what we're looking for. I ask them very direct questions about what they're looking for, what personality type they like, and what age preferences, those types of things. So we really let them have all of the say, really, in what they are looking for and try to match that up the best we can.
Great. Maybe you could tell us about a situation where a caregiver really went above and beyond the needs of just caring for their client.
Oh, sure. We have several situations like that. I think that, having caregivers that go above and beyond is very important to us in seeking excellence. So I think one situation is with a family that we started with care with. The husband is a husband and wife. They were in home. And so we saw them through the progression of the wife's disease of Parkinson's. Their caregivers, they just became part of the care process, as did the office staff. We were there to advocate for whatever they needed through that whole process, and there was a lot. And we did see that situation through to the end of her life. Then we remained in the home for the husband, who shortly after that found out that his adult daughter was then diagnosed with a progressive disease. And so the caregivers became part of that whole process of helping him grieve, being in the home and giving him space and the family space. That's also important for us, that our caregivers are not overextending where they should not be, but keeping a very appropriate role in the home. So in that, we saw that situation through, and she unfortunately passed, and then we did recently saw this man through to the progression of his disease, then many years with the same family. And in the end, you know, we still have a relationship with his son then, who has throughout this whole time felt very supported, and yet, you know, he through his grief as well. So we really try to treat the family as a whole unit and be there to advocate for everyone, not just the care recipients.
Right. Well, you know, there are lots of in-home care companies.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us why Visiting Angels really stands above your competitors.
Well, I would say one thing that sets us apart is that we're responsive. We answer our phones 24 hours a day, and we're in it with them as much as we can be, and by still staying appropriate. So for us, being responsive, you know, from the very first day that someone may call, getting someone out there right away if that's what they need. We're very used to and have set our systems up so that we can respond to crisis. Many families don't know what they need until the need is there.
Right.
So unfortunately, we're dealing with a lot of families that don't necessarily know how to work proactively for what their parents might need. So we're there in crisis, and we're responsive, and our turnaround time, we feel we're very pleased with that.
That's great. Well, thank you. Heather Earl from Visiting Angels, thanks again for coming here today.
Thank you for having us.